Being a full stack developer is a very responsible position. You will have to take care of everything from front end to back end. Full stack developers are very high paid employees in companies because they are the people who understand everything of a stack. In this video, you will learn each and everything that you need to know to become a full stack developer. Before I start this video, I would like to take a moment and pause the video, take a piece of paper and write down your exact goal. Why do you want to become a full stack developer? And be honest. Put this piece of paper on the table where you work. Full stack development is a versatile journey and you will have to be very persistent. This little note on your table will help you in achieving this persistency. And if you are new to HackersFriend, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We have tons of videos coming on tricky coding problems, developer lifestyle, new innovations, startups, career talks, and to the point and short tutorials on a lot of emerging technologies. With that said, let's start our video. We will start from talking about which code editor you should use and how you can work in a team using it. As a full stack developer, you are supposed to understand how you can work with team and how you can manage your team. Then we will start from front end and we will talk about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, responsive design. Then we'll move on to intermediate level things like React.js, Vue.js, and AngularJS. And after completing front-end stuffs and Git, we will move into backend stuffs, and we will start from talking about commonly used backend languages like PHP, Python. Then we will also talk about Node.js and others. Then we will see how all these languages stack up together. And after talking about languages, we will get into databases. There we will talk about SQL and NoSQL databases, and we will also explain where SQL should be used and where NoSQL should be used, and you will understand which one should be used in which case. After databases, we will talk about servers, and in servers we will talk about domains, SSL certificates, shared servers, cloud servers, dedicated servers, VPAs, that is virtual private servers, and maintenance of servers. Then we will talk about deploying your files to server using FTP or SFTP. As you can see, this is a very huge list of topics, and putting it all together in a single video will make it too big. So I have broken it down into three parts. First part is consists of basic things like Git, code editor setup, and basic front-end skills like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. In the second part of this video, we will get into intermediate level front-end stuff like responsive design and JavaScript frameworks. And finally, in the third part, we will cover up back-end stuffs. This is part one. With all that information, let's begin the journey of being a full stack developer. And FYI, you don't need to note down anything. Everything is available on the article page of this video, and link to that article page is given in the description. Before we do anything, let's get our code editors clear first. Which code editor should you use? This is a very common question, especially if you are just starting out. The best code editor for you will be highly depend on what kind of code you are writing. If you are doing mainly HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, You could code in Windows Notepad or TextEdit for Macs if you wanted to. But what would be the fun in that? Well, code editors, programs like Sublime or VS Code comes with a lot of features that just make coding easier. They allow you to indent multiple lines of text, right or left, and can highlight the text in different ways depending on what language the file is in. For backend languages, we will get into that later in the parts of this video. You will need a more powerful code editor called IDE, Integrated Development Environment. IDEs have features that allow you to debug and compile your code. So we have three code editors here, starting from VS Code. This is a lightweight version of Visual Studio, Microsoft's main IDE. It is only a few years old, but it's gotten incredibly popular due to its speed, ease of use, and powerful features. VS Code is my personal editor for choice, so I may be rather biased. Then we have Sublime. Sublime is a largely popular program that has been around for a while. Like Atom, you can install packages and themes, and it also has quick performance. Unlike the other two editors, a Sublime license costs $70, but it is also available for free to try. And then we have Atom. Atom is created by GitHub and advertised as hackable text editor. Atom is a well-loved editor. One of its main strengths is its customizability. You can install packages and themes that will add features to the program. I would recommend trying some or all of these editors out for comparison's sake. Then pick one and stick to it, learning its features and shortcut keys. Now you have code editors and you are starting to write code. However, what happens is when you make a mistake in your code and you have to undo all your code changes to before that mistake, pressing Ctrl plus Z to undo a million times isn't working for you. What do you do? The answer is a version control. Well, version control is like having save points for your code files. If you think you might be about to make some code changes that could break everything, you can create a new save point called a commit and then save it. Then if you do break your website, you can revert your code back to the state it was in before. You can this version control system can be a lifesaver if you are you would make a mistake that you desperately need to do undo. Version control sounds great, isn't it? Using a version control system involves storing your code files and the entire history of your changes in what's called a repository. Usually you will use one repository per website or project. Then you store your repository online in what's known as a central repository, and also keep a version of your computer keep a version of that code in your local computer, that is local repository. As you make changes on computer, you can create commits and then push them up to the central repository. This process allows you to have multiple people working on same set of code, even changing the same file. Git is the most popular version control system right now. The main version control system nowadays is Git. Its main competitor is Subversion, that is also called SVN in short, and that is an older system. But the vast majority of coding bootcamps and tutorials will use Git. So that's why I would recommend you to learn Git. Now that you are okay with your code editor and version control system, let's start HTML. A website may be a a simple one page, or it could be an incredibly complex web application. If you can view it on the web in a browser, it has to do with web development. Here is a simple explanation of how websites on internet work. Websites are basically a bunch of files that are stored on a computers called servers. Servers are computers that are used to host websites, meaning that they store the website files. These servers are connected to a giant network called the World Wide Web or the Internet. And browsers are the program that you run on your computer. They load the website files via your internet connection. Your computer is also known as the client, which connects to the server. So, HTML here is the foundation of all websites. It is the main file type that is loaded into your browser. When you look at a website, you can actually make a very basic website just using HTML and no other types of files. It won't look very interesting, but that's the minimum that you need for a website to be a website. There are a huge number of tutorials on internet for HTML. Links to the best ones will be given in the article page of this video, and link to article page will be given in the description. Now comes CSS or cascaded style sheets. Without CSS, a website will look as aesthetically pleasing as a Word document, as you can see on screen. With CSS, you can add colors of all kinds, compelling fonts and layouts to the website, and it can make your website really look very nice. You can even add animations and draw shapes using more advanced CSS. Then we have JavaScript. JavaScript is a programming language that allows you to interact with the elements on website and to manipulate them dynamically. While CSS adds a style to the HTML, JavaScript adds interactivity and makes a website more dynamic. For example, if you can use JavaScript to scroll the top of the page when you click a button, or to build a slideshow with buttons to navigate through the image. So that was part 1. We will upload the next part very soon. In that part, we will introduce you to responsive web design and popular JavaScript frameworks like React.js, AngularJS, and Vue.js. In a nutshell, the front end or client side refers to what is loaded by the user's browser, also called the client. This would be HTML and CSS that we started out talking about. JavaScript was originally just a front-end language, but nowadays you can use JavaScript as your server-side or back-end language also. Front-end work deals heavily with making the website look good. In addition, it also involves making the site behave in a way that makes sense to the user. That is also called user experience. So you might be coming through words like UX, UX. So UX refers to user experience. If you enjoy tweaking your CSS to make sure the site is pixel perfect and adding subtle JavaScript animation that help the user along, then you will likely enjoy front-end development. The backend is all about functionality and making sure everything works, while the front-end is about the appearance and visual behavior of the website. The backend is about getting everything to work behind scenes. In upcoming parts, we will talk about them as well.